Welcome back, guys, to episode number 2 of Lit Up and Inflow. We're so excited to have you all here with us for these juicy episodes. And today we are talking all about something pretty exciting and dear to our hearts, which is values.
Values. And we thought this would be a good topic leaving off from our last episode because we did briefly touch on it, yes. I believe. But yeah, like following on from talking about burnout, I do think it is crucial to understand what your values are and know when you're in alignment and know when you're out of alignment within your business. So that is our conversation that we are going to have today. Yes. So, Cass, let me just ask you, what are your values in your business or in your life?
Because my life.
It's interchangeable, right? Between business and personal and, yes.
Yeah. Well, I used to have separate ones for my business and personal, but they've pretty much become the same. Yeah. And I think in my old business, when I was doing construction video marketing, I was like, I don't know, I just didn't feel in alignment with that as a business. And now that I'm doing the thing that everything's built by design, it's the same. It's just become the same. So my highest values are health, growth, connection, time, freedom, and moments of joy. But I also have 3 aspirational values, which are things that I'm hoping to become more like, which are contribution. I really care about the planet and doing work there. The second one is spaciousness. I really want to have mental spaciousness, as we spoke about in the last episode. And the final one is simplicity. I want to simplify everything, cut the fat in life, and in business. Yeah. So yeah, they're my values. What about you?
I feel like that's why we're friends, because
they're the same.
They're the same.
Side note, we haven't done any pre-planning for this episode.
No, we were just today we're going to talk about values.
Yes.
No, I very much align with everything, especially for me, freedom. Freedom's a massive one. And coming from a corporate environment where I felt very stuck. Very stuck. Thought I would have to settle in my little cubicle in my 9 till, let's face it, 7 till 5 by the time that you're asked to stay back at work. Yeah, I felt like I didn't have, I so badly wanted freedom. That's all I wanted. I wanted to be able to wake up without an alarm, wake up when my body wants to wake up. I wanted to be able to have lunch on my couch and watch TV. And that is so simple, but that was a strong desire of mine.
Yeah. Side note. Yeah. I cannot imagine you sitting in a cubicle.
I know, right?
Seriously. I actually can't even picture it.
No, it's no good. It was no good. Yeah, I'm very glad I got out of that. But yeah, it was the biggest focus for me. I hate being told what to do by other people. I hate it.
Just ask Alistair.
Literally. Who do you think wears the pants in a relationship? Who do you think is planning the wedding? Yeah. He has his good moments. I take all that back. He's a good egg. Yes. But yeah, freedom, relationships. A big one for me as well. Spending quality time with people. I feel like when I spend time with people, it fills up my cup. It gives me energy, and I could spend hours with, my closest friends and be like, life is so good. Even if something shitty happened that day, be like, life is so good. It really brings you to the present moment. And yeah, honestly, for me, freedom's the biggest one. And that I feel like is my North Star. Yes. Is just as long as I have freedom in my day, life is good. Because I used to think you've got to make a shit ton of money to have freedom, right? And that's not necessarily true. You can, I feel like when people maybe start a business, they get really focused on monetary goals and you can get overly obsessed with monetary goals, which is, you know, why you can burn out. So we spoke about that in the last episode. And that's why I think it's so important to know what your values are so that you understand when maybe you're making decisions that aren't in alignment with your values. And that you can redirect yourself and be like, you know, what do I actually value? And are my actions and my decisions in accordance with the things that actually make me genuinely happy?
Yes.
Like genuinely happy. And I feel like I had to ask myself that question many, many times in the last few years, was like, what actually genuinely makes me happy?
Oh, so potent. I love that so much.
So what makes you happy?
Man, I just want to go back actually to something you just said when freedom being your biggest value.
Yeah.
And I can just make this connection in my mind from what we spoke about in the last episode with when we feel like there are client deadlines that we have to meet, and there's too many deadlines or you know, there's this expectation piece that takes away freedom. And then when you're starting your day and you have nowhere to be, nothing to do, that feeling compared to when you have client deadlines due that day. And obviously, you know, we still work with clients, we have client deadlines, that's a thing, right?
Yeah.
But it's managing that in accordance with our values of having time freedom. Yeah. I think is such an important connection between the two.
Yeah. So it's like, how do you manage those deadlines?
Yeah.
In accordance with your, because I've thought about that as like, technically when you work with clients, like it's not, you're not free to do anything in your day. Yes. Like you do have to, I guess, answer to someone else. However, I think it's how you set up your day.
Yeah.
As well as to how you set boundaries around those deadlines and giving yourself the mental space to do it with calm and like calm and grace.
And still being in control.
Yes.
I think if we leave things till the last minute and we're coming up to that deadline and it feels like there's that pressure, you feel that out of control feeling. I don't know about you, but I certainly do. So it's like, okay, it's kind of like finding the balance between being really good at planning and having good systems, but then also allowing enough time and being okay with like flexible deadlines to get to that point where you just feel like, okay, yeah, I've got to do client work this week, but I'm in control.
Yeah.
And that control piece, I think, is connected to the freedom.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like for me, it's having a mental plan. So if I've already mentally decided, okay, cool, this day I'm just going to do client work. I'm servicing my clients, or I've got a client shoot. I'm mentally in the frame of mind to give it my best. And like, you know, obviously we do our businesses because we love it. Like we love what we do, and it is a joy to work on these, you know, these client shoots. And I think, yeah, for me, it's been the mental preparation of like, I'm going to be in my zone today for my clients, and then on this day I'm not.
Yes.
I'm going to create that space.
Separation.
Yeah. Whereas if I'm doing client work Monday to Friday or even on weekends, I'm just like, I need time for myself. I need time for my own personal passion projects, or just like time for myself. I was thinking about this the other day. We do so much. Like to juggle client work and like running a business in general, like trying to grow your business and finding out ways to scale if that's something that you actually want to do as well. Time with friends.
Yeah.
Time with your partner. Time for yourself. Time for exercise. Like, holy shit.
Journal, time to meditate. Time to get an early night's sleep.
Yeah. And it's like, no wonder why everyone's bloody stressed out.
And especially like, I know you can identify with this being like an A-type personality, high achiever, when you're like, you can't unlearn stuff. So when you're like, okay, I really want to get an early night because that's important for me, or I want to learn, make time for journaling because I know it's going to make a difference.
Yeah.
But then there's so many things that you want to fit into the time that you have because you know it's going to make your life better. And allow you to live more in alignment with your values. Yeah. But then, it's just, it can feel a lot. I understand. And also the thing that you and I have spoken about before, the balance between doing client work and doing an online course.
Oh my God.
It's basically running two businesses.
Literally.
And as I said in the last episode, it's been something that I've had to learn this year. And so much respect for everybody who does both.
Oh, it's honestly it's been the hardest thing I feel like I've done for the last, I launched Become a Brand Photographer June 2020.
Wow.
And it's like people think having a course is passive. It's not passive at all. It is literally another business. And if you want to make sales consistently, it's like you have to treat it like a full-time business.
You have to market.
Yeah. I love like the saying where your attention goes, energy flows and results show. And I always try and come back to that. It's like, where is my attention going? Because if say you're looking at your business and it's like, I'm not, I feel bad about this area of my business, or maybe I'm not booking enough clients, or my revenue isn't where I want it to be. It's like, where is your attention? It's such a simple question, but it's like, where is your attention going? And I know that I've been caught up in the past trying to do busy tasks.
Yes.
To be like, procrastination tasks, to make myself feel like I'm productive, but it's not moving anything forward. And when I realized I was doing so many procrastination tasks, I was like, holy shit, I am not actually being productive. I'm wasting a whole bunch of time.
Sobering.
And my pet peeve is wasting time. Yeah. I hate it.
Yeah.
That's why I walk fast.
It's more efficient.
It's way more efficient.
Oh, it's so true. So let's go back to the start, like when you were first going through the process of figuring out your values, because it can be kind of, I guess, a lot when you're first thinking about what you value.
Yeah.
Do you remember how you navigated that to get to those, and have they changed?
They've changed 100%. The freedom one, no. I feel like I always wanted freedom. I always wanted to own my own business. As soon as I saw my brother own his own business, I remember, because I used to work for his company, and he was like, big boss man. And I was like, I want to be that one day. I want to be that person who owns their own business, who like, that was just like my desire. I had no idea how that was going to happen, but it was just like, I remember that pivotal moment, that thought popped into my head. And that was, I think the same year I actually the year before I started my business. But I think as I've gotten older, so I'm 33 now. I don't feel 33. Just FYI.
Important to note.
Also,
you don't look it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Botox.
Yeah, literally, I need a top up. I think as I've gotten older, my values have 100% changed. I used to be very go. I'm like, I want to build a multi-million-dollar business. I want to and I still want those things, but I want them for different reasons. I don't want to build a multi-million-dollar business. I want to build multi-million-dollars worth of impact. I want to have that level of impact. It's not about, I just want to have $1 million. And I feel like if that's your only desire, you're never going to get there. You have to actually want something deeper to bring in like that amount of money. And that's all like fucking money mindset, And yeah, I feel like I value my health a lot more because I've realized that, as you get older and you also get to the point where you are looking to have kids, you have to start looking at your health even more closely. And I feel like even so this week, Alistair and I have been fixing up our diet more. I've been constantly bloated. It has I actually got really down about it at the start of this week. It's making me really sad. But yeah, I was just like, the things that our daily habits in regards to health, like health is everything. Like if you're sick, you can't do anything. You can't run your business, right? And so for me, health is also very top priority. And that's why I work out twice a day. So I either go for a run, I go for a walk, or I go to yoga and or the gym. And I make sure that I make time for that. Obviously, if we're in a full day shoot, nothing happens, but I still get in my 10K steps. Yeah. But health, number one priority. Whereas a few years ago, especially in like 2021, where we were just constantly going at it, we were so busy working out, like it went out the door. Yeah. We didn't have time. And I'd lie, we didn't make time.
Yeah. It's an important distinction. which is the whole point of this exercise, right? It's you make time for what you value.
Yes.
You always make time for what you value.
Yeah.
So the best way you can figure out what you value is just to look at where are you spending your time.
Yeah.
And
same with like I feel investments. Yeah. So it's like if you say, I don't have the money for that, you do. It's that you don't want to spend money on that thing. So what do you value?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. And it's asking yourself those questions.
And spending money on the thing, I would say, also is about seeing the value in it. Because you might be willing to invest but not seeing the value reciprocated in what the thing is.
Yeah.
It all comes down to value, right?
It comes down to value. Yeah, literally.
Basically life. What are we living in? Space-time continuum.
Living in the Matrix. It's a simulation.
That's a whole other episode, kidding.
That's a whole other, that's a whole other conversation.
Yes. That's honestly like so interesting about your progression in your values. And I think I think most people would also identify with what we think we want when we're in our 20s is very different to what we want in our 30s. Yeah. When we're excited to go to a garden center and buy some plants.
Oh, the best.
And then have an early dinner out. So, like the 5:30 sittings are made for us. People in their 30s, they want to, if we're done by 8, we can go home and be in bed by 8:30. Great.
Oh, the best.
Yeah.
Like we had it was a couple of weeks ago, there was like river fire in Brisbane here, as you know. And typically, I'd be up until like 11, 12, like having a good time. I was in bed by like 9:20.
And did you even make the end of the fireworks?
Oh yeah, the fireworks were in like 7.
Okay.
But we started early. It's like my idea of a good time: start early, finish early.
Totally.
Like, don't make me stay up until 12. Yeah. Don't want that unless it's New Year's Eve, maybe.
And sometimes even then.
New Year's Eve is overrated. But yeah, it's like we're also at a time in our lives where we value sleep so much. Like, oh my God, Alistair as well. He gets real antsy about his sleep. If he can't get his like 7 to 8 hours, like he feels shit.
Are you guys on the same sleep chronotype?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Early morning?
No. Are you kidding?
Actually, I know you get up at 7.
I've been lately, it's been like 8, 8:30, sometimes 9.
My gosh, I'm like 3 hours into work by then.
I know. I would like to make like 7 a.m. like I think once it becomes warmer, I get up a little bit earlier. Yeah. And I go enjoy some sunshine on the rooftop, or we go to the spa, we do a sauna and a cold plunge. Yeah. So I love having that time in the morning. It's just like training your body, right? But that's why I hate having late nights, because it fucks my system. Yeah. Like
100%.
And I look at my aura score the next day, I'm like,
isn't it? It's so sad when you're like, I did this to myself.
Yeah.
Like there is no one else to blame but me.
Yeah.
And I'm not about it.
No.
But I think it's so important. Like, I mean, it's obviously just a positive thing, but for you guys to be on the same chronotype, like there's no right or wrong about what time to get up, but you guys are on the same system. You're operating on the same iOS when it comes to sleep.
Are you and Brogan on the same?
We're on the same. Yeah. So we're like 8:30 bed.
Oh, that's so early.
4:30 till 5 wake up.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm still like, I'm about to start a movie at 8:30.
Oh my gosh, if it's like past, like last night we went to bed at 9:30 and because we were watching Criminal Minds. Flashback to that show. It's so good. And yeah, we were just like, oh man, this is so late. Oh God, sleep masks on, quick.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was starting an episode of Lord of the Rings at 9:30.
You were? I've just started getting into the TV show after we had that conversation at dinner.
Do you love it?
Yeah, it's slow, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like it's not the same as the movies. And side note, look, Amanda and I are both like huge Lord of the Rings fans.
I see.
But I hadn't watched the TV show yet. And yeah, I thought it was slow to get off the ground, but I'm kind of getting into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it gets better. I mean, everyone, people have got differing opinions on that show, though. I know. Okay. Yeah, keep with it.
Yeah, we digress.
Any other
Lord of the Rings fans? Yeah, let us know if you're into Lord of the Rings.
We're obsessed. This is not a Lord of the Rings podcast,
but let us know if you want it to be. Okay. Where were we?
Okay. So like within your business, how do you think your values have changed, or have they changed over time since you started? Or even like from when, like in your 20s?
Yeah, I think in my 20s, I really valued fun and having a good time.
Well, you don't like fun anymore.
No, well, I do.
The idea,
but I valued going out and drinking and, you know, having fun in that respect, as opposed to, I think these days it's genuine. I think when we're in our 20s and we're kind of just like going with the pack, as opposed to kind of figuring out what you really value.
Yeah.
So I think that was certainly a thing for me. I think I've always valued personal development and growth. Like ever since, I think it was when I went to Tony Robbins' Unleash Power Within in like 2015.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, oh my God, I want to be the best version of myself. This is amazing. So that has always been top of mind for me, I think.
Personal development mindset.
Yeah. But I think health, same as you, like it's really... it's just right up there. And there was definitely a time when it wasn't. It was about how far can I get in the corporate ladder.
Yeah. Because you were in corporate.
I was in corporate for over a decade.
Holy moly.
And
I would not last that long.
The last 8 years of that career were in a senior management role. So I had quite a big team. When I left, there was 100 people in it. I think when I look back on those days, and what we were talking about before with being like over like chronically stressed and overstimulated and like always on, like that was very much the case in corporate for me. I was undiagnosed ADHD at the time, so I was operating from not my best kind of system, I suppose. Like once you know that, you can change the way you do things and life gets better. But also I think I loved the idea of, I felt important and I felt that need for significance because of the job that I had. And there were parts of it that I absolutely fucking loved. But there was also so much of it that was just really stressful on my nervous system continuously every single day. You know, there's no off switch. Yeah, you're doing emails at night. I'm taking escalations. I'm finding, you know, wedding dresses that have got lost in Spain, or, you know, there's every night there's something. And then, you know, when you just carry the weight of people management, and I had some difficult personalities as well in my management team. So it was something that I really, it pushed a lot of my stresses and I guess I hadn't learned how to overcome my conflict avoidance. I didn't even know I had conflict avoidance at that time. So when I would be really stressed in these situations at work, and I just felt sick to my stomach about letting people down or feeling like I was facing conflict, I didn't know how to navigate those because I hadn't done the work in those areas. And then I think once I let go of like that need to be like feel significant, and that was, I suppose, quite a value. I mean, it's still there. I think you can't unlearn that. And for most of us, it's
everyone wants to feel
high achieving people, you know, that's important, right? But then I valued, I guess, the freedom came in at that point, and it was like I couldn't leave my like job and just go to an appointment. I had to like check, you know, okay, cool. What are the other managers doing? What's my team doing? Are they going to be okay? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And now the fact that I can just go for a walk at 10 a.m. if I want to, I can do anything I want in my day most of the time. And I think that is just, there's nothing better than that.
Yeah, I completely agree. Did it take you, did you have like, when you started your business, a 9-to-5 mindset from your corporate days? So like the feeling of like you know, when you would work in your business, that you still had to work like 9 till 5, for example. Yes. Did you have that?
Very much so. Yeah. I probably still do to a point, but I've questioned this in myself quite a few times and gone, do I want to change my hours? And like, I think it genuinely just works for me as well. But I mean, there's times that won't work Fridays, or sometimes if I can, or take an afternoon off and do some kind of self-care. But I don't know whether it's just I'm hardwired to, but I actually quite like doing my morning routine, training, going for a big walk, doing my coffee and like just enjoying the space.
Yeah.
And then getting into work at like 8:39 and then finishing at like 4:35. And Brogan and I go for a walk with Pickles every day, our dog. And it's just, I don't know, it just kind of works.
Gosh, you've had a whole like day before I wake up.
Actually.
Kind of jealous, but also I could not get up for 5 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm not that person.
That's okay. You don't have to be.
No. You
got to do what works for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I struggled a lot with that, the whole 9 to 5 thing. And I would find myself still sitting at my desk, like, I know 4 or 5 o'clock being like, what else can I do? What else can I do to make myself feel better about my productivity of the day? Or like, there was a feeling of like, I just need to feel good about my day. So I need to do something else.
Yeah. And
at that time of day, I'm tired, like I'm done, but I was trying to force myself to do something that probably wasn't very productive to push things forward. And that's when I realized that I was doing so many like busy tasks during my day, or I wasn't as productive on the muddy needle moving tasks that probably don't need a lot of time either. That's another thing I've learned, is that the things that actually move your business forward don't really take a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like they really don't. And if you strip back everything down, I think this comes down to like simplicity as well as being a value. It's like, what is like, how can you cut out so much fluff of your business to make way for more space and things that you enjoy? Because I honestly believe that when you're just genuinely happy in life, like your business runs better. And like that has to be interchangeable between your business and your personal life.
I could not agree with that more. It's so true.
And I feel like it's a hard mindset to sometimes shift. And I had to like ask myself questions, and it's like, am I doing this because I need to feel productive for whatever reason, because I don't feel good enough? Or like, I mean, I feel like I was in a race for so long.
Yes.
Like a race against who?
Yeah.
Who am I competing against?
Oh my gosh.
Social media.
Yeah. Like why are we on this like perhaps we were like running quick, cram more into your day, do more tasks.
Literally. But
why?
I think, well, for me, it comes from social media.
Yeah.
Like I see so many people doing cool shit. And again, this comes back to values. You have to kind of have discernment between what you see on social media. Do you genuinely want that? Like the success that maybe you see other people having, or do you want something different?
Do you genuinely want it, or do you just think that you want it?
Do you think that you want it? Because it looks flashy, because it looks like they're having a great life. But it's like, we all know social media is a highlight reel, right? Like it's very rare that I think people actually genuinely share their inner thoughts on social media. And so I feel like it does make you feel like you're in a race, an imaginary race for what? What's the prize? What's the prize?
Yeah, why?
I have no idea. And so I kind of like started realizing that was my thought pattern when I was scrolling. I was just like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah. Like
what genuinely makes me happy? And I chased money for a very long time. And I felt like the more money I thought the more money I made, the happier that I would be. And look, there's no denying that like a certain amount of money like buys you freedom, which gives you happiness, right? But I also think there comes a time where there is a comfortable amount of money that you can be making, and you will live a very, very, very happy life that you don't need to keep pushing and striving. Yeah. And I think that was a thing that I've come to realize, especially this year, is like I don't have to push so much.
You're closer than you think to where you want to be, to the life that you want to have.
Yeah.
And sometimes like letting go of things and saying no is going to get you closer to that life. Yeah. Because you're actually creating space. Yeah. And like we're pushing so that we can have the time freedom. Yeah. But then if you just say no to something, you can get the time freedom.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like we work so hard to have a nice retirement, right? Like that's kind of how, you know, like society is conditioned in a way. It's like you work hard through your 20s, your 30s, your 40s so that you can have enough money to retire in your 60s, you know. But I think we're in a very privileged situation where like in our 30s, not that I can retire, not that I want to retire. I love working on my business, but I also don't need to push as much as I thought I had to. I think at the beginning stages though, I will contradict myself a little bit here. When you're starting your business, it does take more effort.
Yeah.
Especially more mental effort because no one knows who you are. Like you have to, I feel like it really is a mind battle to keep going when you don't see results. And it can be very difficult to build momentum and to put your name on the map. And it's a time thing, right? Like it took me probably, Alistair and I, 3 to 4 years to become properly, oh my God, properly established.
Yeah.
To a point where I felt like people know our name. Like we have a really great, loyal, long-term base of clients. Like we're very comfortable, but that took a lot of work to build up. And so I do think at the beginning of your business, you have to push a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But I also think there comes a time where it's like I think there comes a time where you get to a point where maybe you don't enjoy it anymore. And that's when that's when the burnout comes and you have to start looking at your values and what you actually want, how you want to actually run your business and how you actually want your day to go.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like, what's your perfect day?
What is my perfect day?
What is your perfect day?
Oh man, my perfect day would be waking up, doing a really great workout, going for a big long beach walk, which I'm side note, so excited to move to the Gold Coast in a couple months. And then I think doing something creative.
Yeah.
My best energy levels are always in the morning. So I think that's such a good time to be creative and do something that I'm genuinely lit up by.
Yeah.
And then have some lunch and finish work and kind of do some kind of self-development, I think would be amazing.
Do you feel like you friends. Already have a lot of that though in your day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. And I think that's conscious to bring my day into a space where I am living in alignment. But I think there's still work to do. Like I'm not living in alignment with all my values. I don't know about you, but like there's things that I'm not there yet, but we're pointing in the right direction and we're going in the right path.
Yeah. That's where your instant gratification comes into play.
Yeah. Being okay with waiting, being patient is sometimes
the hardest part.
Not my forte. Also, I guess when it comes to health, I really I'm actually torn between the idea of complete sobriety and not. Yes. And I've been working on my relationship with alcohol for 5 years. So I used to be quite a binge drinker, and now I know why that is. And it's coming down to me, being the instant gratification, the dopamine, not knowing I had ADHD, plus being driven by, just, whatever was in front of me as opposed to thinking about the long game. Like I even have a tattoo on my arm that says long game to remind me. But yeah, I've done so much work on that. And now I'm at a point where, I'll have a drink with friends, a couple of glasses of wine, maybe 3, but it doesn't generally go more than that. And for most people, they'd be like, oh, that's really good. That's just like normal. Yeah. But then you can't unlearn stuff. And such a big part of me just craves like complete sobriety and freedom from even having to think about whether or not I'm going to have 1 glass of wine or more and stuff like that. And so there is still so much inner conflict between wanting sobriety and not wanting sobriety, and knowing like that 1 glass of wine a week, you're 17% higher chance of breast cancer. Like there's so many crazy things that alcohol does to you that we just don't talk about. Yeah. And once you start reading books on it, you're like, oh shit. And so health being one of my highest values, that's something that I'm not completely in alignment with yet. Yeah. And so for me, that's a big one. I'm still kind of like getting my head around. What about you?
Yeah, I I mean, my drinking definitely went up this year. And I feel like I'm feeling the effects of that now. So we've probably drunk, well, I know for me, myself, I probably drunk every weekend the entire year. And I'm not talking just one glass, like multiple. And like, it's so hard because when you start drinking and you have like one or two, your thoughts go out the door. It's like, yeah, pour me another one.
Yep.
It's so easy to just keep going. And it's only now that, you know, we're getting married next month. So I'm trying to, you know, focus a little bit more on being my best self for the wedding. So I am like not drinking until the wedding, or apart from my hands, like, you know, might have a couple. But even then it's like, I look at my aura scores after I drink and I'm just like,
HRV is down.
Oh, it's already low for me. Like, but yeah, I love drinking. I love it. And I really enjoy, you know, even just having a glass of wine when I cook dinner, like just by myself. You know, I really enjoy that. And I enjoy socializing. Like we've just had such a big social life this year. I'm not complaining. I love it. And a big part of that has been drinking. But I don't want that to become the norm where it's like I don't feel like I have to drink to have a good time. I enjoy it. I enjoy the taste. Like wine is definitely my go-to. But yeah, it is something that has definitely been on my mind, mostly because I've been bloated for like what feels like a long time. And I think alcohol it's
a huge
inflammatory.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, massive. Inflammatory. And like I said it, like on the last episode, I got really down this week about it. Like and I wanted to go away like that. I was so impatient with it. Like I'm still doing things to heal my gut. But yeah, like one of our girlfriends, Kiri, like she's been, she hasn't drunk for I think 2 years, she said, and she feels so good. And there's a part of me that's actually a little bit jealous, to be honest, because I'm just like you look great. Yep. Like it's, I would find it very hard to go without a drink for that long. And, you know, it's like she's got this glow about her. Not that, like I think you can still glow by having alcohol, but it does impact you over time. It's
more sweat because your body temperature's gone up.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's something that's been on my mind. And especially, you know, being of the age where you are looking to have kids.
Oh yeah. It's massive when it comes to getting pregnant, and it's definitely been something that I have been working through as well.
Yeah, but it's hard. Yeah. It's hard when you pour a glass and it's like, I'll just pour another one. Or just open another bottle.
Yeah, I know. But where I'm at on my journey, like it's for me, there's 2 reasons that I still drink. One of them is I like feeling buzzed.
Me too.
Like I genuinely just like the feeling of being a little bit drunk.
Yeah.
Not too much, but you know, it's that. But then what I've learned is it's 20 minutes and then that's gone, and then your adrenaline and cortisol kicks in, and then you're never going to feel the same. So that is part of it. And the second reason I drink is genuinely just because I get FOMO if I'm not drinking.
Me too.
And it's 100% because I feel if we are socializing that my limiting belief is still that if I don't drink, I won't have as much fun as everyone else. Yes. That is 100%. I don't even I don't hate the taste of alcohol. Like I like margaritas, but it's not the alcohol that I like. It's the rest of the drink.
Yes.
It's the feeling that it gives you.
Yeah.
And then the feeling of FOMO if you miss out.
Yeah.
And so it's, to me, for my journey, it's about working on the emotional dependence of socializing without alcohol, and being okay with letting go of going out to dinner with Brogan and having a cocktail or two and then feeling just a bit like carefree and kind of buzzed.
Yeah.
And like sometimes it's just so funny when we do that. And like we're just like, even if we're driving home, you have a couple of cocktails and you just feel just a little bit carefree and just like everything's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm like, that's actually so fun. Am I ready to give up that?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's such a contradiction.
No, I feel the same.
It annoys me so much.
I have the same thoughts of like, you know, if someone's drinking in front of me, I'm like, but you're having more fun than me.
Exactly. I'm like, why is it that I'm like FOMO about someone else getting buzz and I'm missing out. Yeah. Like how stupid is that?
I think also too that alcohol also brings out, I want to say more truth.
Yeah.
Like it can bring out
less filter.
Less filter. Yeah.
Totally.
Less filter.
Yeah.
And so I think you can also deepen relationships. Mm. But again, I don't want to.
It can go either way.
It can go either way. Absolutely. Yeah, it's a hard one. And yeah, it's something that I'm also navigating right now. It's like cutting down. Like I have like 5 bottles of wine in my fridge. It's no good.
Mate, we've got a fucking wine cellar.
Oh yeah. Maybe next time we like do dinner or something, we're like, let's have kombucha or like coconut water.
Yes. I think that would be great. And we'll all be sitting there going, oh, maybe we could be having more fun than no.
Yeah.
How stupid.
But yeah, anyway. It's silly. It's so silly.
I know. I love that we didn't even mean to talk about alcohol, but it is very much, I guess, a misalignment of values to some degree. And so I think it is important. And it's not like we're sitting here with all our shit figured out, like in any way, shape or form. And I'm sure there are literally so many women who can resonate in some way with what we've spoken about with that challenge.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a prominent one. And like, I feel like you just feel lighter, I think, when you don't drink.
And there's nothing like waking up the next day and having that feeling of smugness when you haven't drunk.
I didn't have a drink and I feel great.
Yes. I mean, own that shit.
That's
every
Alistair.
time. Oh.
That's Alistair.
But it's such a good feeling. I mean, it probably feels better for, if it's more challenging not to drink socially and then you haven't done it, like it probably feels even better when you don't do it.
Yeah.
But before we finish that part of the conversation, I just want to say This Naked Mind, the book, is amazing by Annie Grace. I have listened to it on Audible, like, I don't know, I'm going to say 10 to 15 times. And every time I hear something different, and it's honestly the most life-changing book that I've
Is it about alcohol? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
It's so good. It's actually all about rewiring your brain around it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, right. Okay, I feel like I need to.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Next thing you know, I'll be like, I'm not drinking.
Yeah. Mate, I have gone through it so many times, more than I can count. So
yeah. But no, I think I really liked what you said too about like you can have your values, but it's so easy to contradict yourself. And that I also think you have to give yourself grace and compassion when you do slip up on something, when maybe you're not so aligned with your values and you do slip up or something happens and you're like, damn it, like I'm not where I want to be. It's like, okay, well, identify that, like have the self-awareness to feel that and be like, okay, what do I need to do to get back into alignment and have the courage to get back into alignment. And that's the other part of it, I think, too, is having the courage to make a change because we're creatures of comfort. We just want to. We don't like change. We don't like getting uncomfortable, and I think that's a challenge in itself. Yeah. So it's like you could be so booked out with work, for example, money's coming in, like you're doing so well, but you're so unhappy. But on social media, you look like a massive success. But you're not happy. And what's the point?
Yeah. And in that situation, I guess it is coming down to what do you value and are you in alignment? They're the gutter rails of what everything we do, right?
Yeah. And I think that's a good question to ask yourself is like, if you ever feel stuck, if you ever feel like you're stuck in your business or in your life, it's like, what are my values? How am I in alignment and how am I out of alignment? And what do I need to do to get back, to get out of this detour and get back onto the highway?
Because like so often we're looking for a silver bullet.
Yeah.
Like what's going to fix.
We want a quick fix.
Yeah. Like what's the new strategy, framework, methodology that is going to help me get out of this? But actually it's inside you.
Yeah.
You already know. It comes down to understanding, bring that awareness to what you value and then finding the opportunities to get closer to that. And it's not like you're in or out of alignment. It's just how close are you? It's a spectrum, right?
Yeah.
And so it's going, okay, cool. Like even if something isn't quite there, like we've just been speaking about, how close are you and what do you need to shift to get closer? How can you continuously improve?
Yeah. And I think that is it too. It's like it's always an improvement. There's never a destination when it comes to like living. Like it's never perfect.
No.
And I think that's like a myth in itself. Is like I never feel like I have a perfect life. And I think there's beauty in the imperfection. Oh, that sounds corny as fuck, but you know.
No, but I like it. I like it. We'll keep that in.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think that will potentially wrap up our values discussion.
I think that's a good place to wrap up.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, have a think about what your values are. And yeah, if you do feel stuck somewhere and you don't know what your next step is, because I also think you can get to a point in business where you're like, what is my next step? What do I do now? What's going to make me happy? All comes back to your values, not someone else's. Like being so honest with yourself about what it is that you value in life. And that's your North Star.
Before we wrap up this episode, I just wanted to say that we would love to help you guys out. So we have started a broadcast channel, and if you have things that you are stuck on in your business, if you're listening to these episodes and you're like, yeah, I hear what you girls are saying, but I'm just really feeling stuck in some way and you want our eyes on your business, then we're going to give you the opportunity to drop that anonymously into the chat and ask your questions, which we will answer on a later episode.
Yeah, so don't hold back.
Yeah, please don't.
Go as deep
give
as
us the
you
goods.
Yeah.
Because we'll give you a juicy answer.
Yeah. If you go deep, we go deep.
That's the rule.
That's how it works. That's how this relationship works. Yeah. Thanks for joining us, guys. I hope that this was a little bit of a different episode, but I also feel like, when we talk about, it's not just about business, it is about so many other things in life that affect your business and your mindset. So yeah, hope that you enjoyed this episode and we will see you in the next one.
See you later.
Bye.